Hey guys, we've got another mock test here for you from Mill Hill, and it's a nice bright sunny day, which is not always good for driving, by the way, because the sun gets in your eyes quite a lot. But if you do get a sunny day, make sure you have the sun visor down, or get used to driving with sunglasses as well. That really helps. So here we're just turning right off the main road into the little side road there, and straight away we've got a car reversing, and the learner was very cautious there. So when you first start, you don't want to be too hasty to go like around things. Just take your time. But if you do see a nice space, check your mirrors and go around it, yeah? And turning right at the end here, where it's quite blind, very close. You can't see the left properly, so you need to stop there and check the left out properly, and which is what he's done. And on we go. Turning right at the end here, again another sharp angle to the left, so you can't really see properly unless you stop and have a little look, and then we're off. So this road is 30 at the moment, but it is quite windy, so you don't want to be speeding up towards the roundabout there. And because this one's on a hill, you want to approach it in first, and you can see there's a van parked right near the junction as well, near the roundabout, so you don't want to be approaching this in second. You want to approach this really carefully, and when they got the door open like that, it means there's people usually working behind it, so take even more care there to make sure you don't hit anybody that's coming out of that van, yeah, that's working around there. Can't really see the right properly here because of the angle of the camera, but our learner went when it was clear, which is good. Up this hill here, which is a bit blind, you can't really see over it. So I've been in situations where there's been cyclists there. You don't really want to overtake a cyclist there because you can't really see what's coming around the corner or over the hill. So just wait until you go over, if you need to go past a cyclist, and then go past them then. So further down the road splits into two here, so just ask the learner to pull over or on the left in a safe place, which is done really well. And then looking around, we were there for quite a while because it's busy, but I've skipped it so you guys don't have to sit through all that, yeah? But if it's busy and you're trying to come out, just wait, don't rush to come out, just wait until it's safe, okay? Here we're following the road towards the left. So see the stop sign there, so you can signal around here. You don't have to signal a bit earlier, you can signal here. Even though we're only turning left, you can only turn left here. Make sure you signal to let pedestrians know that you can turn in left as well, because sometimes people don't realize that you can only turn left there. And you can see the stop sign there. Let's see if he stops. Okay, good, so he stopped, that's good. A lot of people have fell there if you've seen my previous videos. Look out for any pedestrians there, and done that really well actually. Okay, stopping over on a safe place on the left, and then getting into drive on again. So I think this is where we started independent driving, and we're following signs for Burnt Oak here, and this is the 20 zone, so you don't want to be going faster than 20 down here. And when you see the 30 sign up ahead, don't think that it's your cue to start going fast as soon as you see the sign. The 30 actually starts after you go past the sign. So once you go see the 30 sign there on the left, once you go past it, then the 30 speed limit applies, not before that, okay? So remember, we're following signs for Burnt Oak, which is left at the first roundabout and left again at the second roundabout. It's a double roundabout, so left and then left. So you can see the traffic is split into two there. It's very narrow there. There is enough space for two cars if everyone positions correctly, but it's really, really narrow. You can see a pedestrian sneaking through the gaps there. So here you want to be looking to the right from early. Then if it's clear, you keep moving and keeping left, because remember we're going left and then left. So keep well left. Checking the second roundabout again, because people forget to check this one again. Remember, it's 2 separate roundabouts, so you want to check both of them before you commit, yeah? And then watch out for the zebra crossings as you come off as well. And the sea is very, very glary now because of the sun, as I was mentioning earlier. So this is where our learner makes his first serious mistake. So if you can see properly, but there's a lady on the island there, and then he's slammed his brake to stop for her. It wasn't really a slam, but he stopped kind of hard. He didn't have to stop for that lady there. She's on the island, it's not a pedestrian crossing there, so he didn't have to wait for her. But he did, causing the other guys behind to slow down as well. So remember, if they're on the island and it's not a pedestrian crossing, you don't have to wait for them, yeah? If they start walking in the road, then you should wait for them. Okay, pulling over on the left again in a safe place. He clipped the curb here a little bit, but it wasn't enough to be like a serious fault, but it was a minor steering fault. Then I got him to drive on again, following signs for Edgware now. Continuing the independent driving. So this is still a 30-mile-an-hour zone. And driving basically into the sun, so sunglasses would have been great right now, because it just makes everything easier to see. Okay, approaching the roundabout. So the signs for Edgware is going to be right at the roundabout, which is right third exit. So our learner was quite experienced. They'd driven quite a bit before, so they knew what they're doing. It's just a matter of preparing for the test. Signaling left now, so you would have signaled right to get onto the roundabout, and then signal left to come off as well, because it's a big-ish roundabout. It's a large roundabout, so you want to signal left to come off as well, yeah? So this bit here is quite downhill, it's quite steep, so you don't want to be pressing too much gas here, otherwise you're going to go too fast. And still following signs for Edgware. This is a bit further down, and the signs for Edgware here is right at the traffic lights. So our learner's positioned himself towards the right, because the lane gets wider and splits into 2, which is done really well to stay on his side there. And then another driver is kind of snuck in at the last minute to go to the right. Obviously you wouldn't do that on your test, because that wouldn't be good. Okay, nice and straightforward. So this junction can be a bit tricky. Sometimes there's not enough space for you to wait behind the car in front. So remember, if you can't clear the pedestrian crossing, wait behind the white line. If you can clear the pedestrian crossing, then you go behind the car behind you. Oh, sorry, the car in front of you. But only if you can clear the pedestrian crossing, yeah? If you can't clear it, stay behind the white line until there's space, or until the next light, yeah? Otherwise you're gonna end up being stuck and blocking pedestrians. There you go, it's nice and clear now, he's gone. That was very good. Now we're following signs for Elstree, and you notice he's positioned himself into the left lane nice and early, which is good, because as you approach this road here, it was actually 1 lane, then it splits into 2 lanes, and he's done the smart thing, which is position himself to the left lane. The bus lane at that time, you can't use it, which is why he's not using it. And the signs for Elstree are saying straight ahead, so he's in the correct lane to do that. You could use the left lane as well, but this lane is also fine, because you see the right lanes for turning. Everyone in the right lane should be turning right. People on the left could be turning left or going straight, but this lane is just for straight. So much further down the road, we're following signs for Elstree still, and we've got to a roundabout. So remember, if you're going straight, you want to be in the left lane for most roundabouts, unless the left lane is only for turning left, which our learner's done really well here. And this is on a hill as well, so you need to be very careful when you're moving off that your car doesn't roll backwards. and no signal to get onto the roundabout because remember we're going straight second exit, and keeping left, so checking your mirrors now, signal left to come off. Check the right mirror because you see that black car came from the right lane. That's why you want to check your right mirror, because you see it was 2 lanes on the roundabout, now it's got into 1, and sometimes cars using the right lane will come off with you as well, which is not ideal, but that's why you want to check your mirror to cover yourself, okay? And then now it's a 40-mile-an-hour road, so you want to be going a bit faster, but if you look in the distance, there are lots of signs telling you that there's something's coming up, a roundabout sign telling you to slow down. Even though it's still 40 miles an hour, you still want to be cautious as you approach this roundabout and slow down, maybe even go into second gear so that you can deal with it properly, because you can't really see the right properly as you approach it, which I'll show you what I mean. So as you approach the roundabout, look, you can't really see the right until you get really close, but once you get past it now, it's still 40 miles an hour, so now you want to put your foot down and go back up to speed. But you see our learner is doing less than 30 miles an hour still, which is not ideal. You want to be going much faster than this. And as you go further down the road, it goes really hilly, so if you're going too slow up the hill, you're gonna potentially stall, or the car's gonna struggle in the higher gears. Yeah, still going quite slow. No one's tried to overtake him yet, which is kind of surprising. And then now there's a cyclist in the way, but if he just checks his mirror now and go past him, yeah, now he should be going much faster again, but still not going fast enough. So when you're going up a hill like this, it might be a good idea to gear down to go a bit faster, to get that better acceleration, because sometimes if you're on the higher gear, let's say you're in gear 3 or 4 and you're going up a hill, the acceleration is going to be very slow and you're not going to get speed up quickly. Yeah, so sometimes it might be a good idea to gear down into like a second gear and then put your foot down a bit more and get up to speed. Yeah, over this hill now we're following signs for central London. So you're coming up to a large roundabout, and the sign's a bit hidden. The sign is on the right hand side in the trees there. So remember, if you haven't seen the sign, or if you've missed it, or something has come up and you haven't been able to read it properly, let the examiner know that you haven't seen the sign. Don't wait until you get to the roundabout to try to deal with it and kind of freestyle it. Just let them know, look, I haven't seen the sign, which way you're supposed to be going, and then they'll tell you. So right here, it's right third exit, this large roundabout, yeah? So the right signal would have been on from earlier. Going around, going past the first exit, the right signal is still on. Then as you go past the second exit now, signal left around now, checking your left mirror. And it's a nice clear road, so now you should be going a lot faster. This is actually a national speed section as well, and it's a dual carriageway at this point. So technically he can go up to 70 miles an hour here, but he's not going anywhere near that. It's going still quite slow. There's been a couple of reminder signs telling him that it's national speed, but it's still going kind of slow here. By the way, this learner has already passed their tests. This was just their mock test. Their road test they passed after we discussed these kind of faults that they're making. They improved and then went on to pass their test, which is why it's really good to do mock tests, because it shows you the stuff you might fail for, and then you can improve on it. Yeah, so remember, it was a dual carriageway, but now it's a single carriageway, so now it's 60 miles an hour, but our learner is still going quite slow, way slower than the speed limit. And there's a lorry behind us as well, catching us up, probably slowing down a bit because of our learner, which is why I had to give him a serious fault for this now, because it was a bit too slow. Plus the other road as well was a bit too slow, the country road, and then now it's going slow again, so I gave him a serious for speed. Still following signs for central London, and here the direction is a left first exit. Now this roundabout is a bit different than most. As you approach it, like most roundabouts, you want to be looking to the right, because that's what you have to do. Look to the right, give way to people on the right. But as you get closer, you will see that the floor, the road markings are going to show you that the roundabout separates your lane from the other lanes as well. So as you get closer, if you stick to the left, you see, and if you look on the ground, there's no giveaway lines, so you don't have to slow down too much for this, because you don't have to give way to anybody. But if you're not local, you won't know that until you get really close. Now it's a 50-mile-an-hour section, so our learner should be going up to speed again, going a lot faster. And then here I've told him that the second set of lights we're going to be turning right, which basically means you want to be in the right lane now, or as soon as it's safe to do so, which is what he's done. You don't want to leave it too late. So this first and second set of lights are quite close to each other, so the examiner is not going to tell you after the first one, because then there won't be enough time to change lanes. So usually in that situation they'll tell you before the first set. So they'll say the second set of lights turn right, which basically means get into the correct lane from early, which is the right lane. So we've gone past the first set, now we're approaching the second set, and our learner's done nicely to position himself into the far right lane for turning right there. So once you come off of a fast road like a dual carriageway, be careful that you're not going too fast without realizing. Sometimes you can go really fast and you don't feel like you're going fast because you've been going fast before, and now when you're doing like go back to normal side roads, you're gonna feel like you're going really slow when you might be in fact going really fast. So just bear that in mind, okay? So we've pulled over to the right because we're about to do a right reverse. So normally on your test, if you get asked to pull over on the right, unless it's for another reason, normally when they pull you over on the right, it's because you're about to do the right reverse, which is what we're going to do now. So it's just a matter of getting into reverse, looking around, making sure it's safe, and then keeping it really slow and reversing back 2 car lengths. Making sure you're stopping for any cars that are going past as well, or any pedestrians that are next to you on the right there. So here, that car going past, you've got to wait for him, look around again, and then start reversing really slowly, keeping an eye on the mirror and the curb as well, so that you don't hit the curb. And also don't fixate on the mirror though, you want to be looking everywhere, over your shoulders, all that. And if you have to make a correction, which is what our learner's done now, because I think it got a bit too close, you can go forward and then readjust it and then come back, but you will get a fault for that for control, yeah? Doing very nicely, taking his time, not rushing anything. And then once it's done, usually the examiner will say, okay, that's enough, thank you. Or if you feel like it's enough, then you can stop, and then the examiner will say, okay, that's fine. And then driving on, make sure you look all the way around. I've actually done a video on this, so check it out. I'll put it in the link so you can check it out as well, just how to do the right reverse. And then turning right at the end of the road here. It's a very close junction, which means you can't really see properly. Here I would recommend like opening the window for a little bit, just so you can hear what's coming down the road. And you've got cars on the left coming from the dual carriageway as well, so sometimes they're a bit fast there, so be wary of that, okay? And then straight into a meeting situation, and he dealt with that really nicely. Make sure you check the right mirror as you go around his car. This learner was really good with his mirrors. I think with experience, when you drive lows, you can just get used to checking the mirrors all the time. And you could tell he was like really good at that, so there was no issue with his mirrors. Okay, at this roundabout, it's a double one. We're going left and then right. So I recommended that you stick to the left lane to do this on the first roundabout, even though we're turning, I recommended that I stick to the right lane, see, because once you turned, he ends up in the correct lane for the next roundabout, and then signal right for this one. Can't really see what's on the right, so I can't really see if he's waiting or hesitating, but I don't think he hesitated there. And he's off. Okay, much further down the road, getting to a roundabout, and we're going to be turning right here. So this is a very small space here. Don't get tempted to swing your car around and try to go all the way around the roundabout. It doesn't work because there's not enough space to do that. You just want to kind of go straight. hopefully our learner will show you what I mean. Yeah, just kind of go straight a little bit and then turn without swinging the car too far left, because there's not enough space to do that, okay? I have had someone fail for that there before, because they are under the impression that they had to go all the way around. Okay, over the roundabout, nice and easy. Then we're turning right. So you see they've gone into the box nice and early, like they're parking. So when you're doing these kind of boxes, pretend that you're parking in there. First of all, get your car nice and straight in there, wait for your chance to go, and then when it's safe, check your right mirror and then go. Like our learner's done really well there. That was really good. You don't want to have your car sticking out if you can avoid it, okay? Okay, now we're pulling up on the left in a safe place, mirror, mirror signal. And he's done. Okay, all right, so that's it, guys. The faults that our learner got there was for the speed and also for stopping for that pedestrian when he shouldn't have done. I'm happy to report that he passed his road test, which was a few days later, so that was all good, because after we worked on those things that he messed up on, he improved and then he went on to pass. So congratulations to that learner. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.